Hi, I'm Daniele Valisena. I'm a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Berkeley in California. And I'm going to be talking about critical walking. Um, Walking is the most immediate way of relating with the environment. When I say immediate, I mean in the literary sense, meaning that it's non-mediated. We walk with our bodies, not just with our minds and our eyes, and we traverse and inhabit the place that we decide to walk through our itinerant practice. Um, so walking is not just something that has to do with our positioning, but walking is also a posture. Uh, Posture, also in the literary sense, meaning that we adopt a standing bodily position, we walk erect, and it is one that is au ras du sol, on the ground level, to quote Michel de Certeau, so on the ground level, which is different from the bottom-up or the top-down perspectives, for instance, typical of urban planning. But walking is also a bodily practice meant to explore the space while moving through it. A practice that has both theoretical and methodological implications. Methodologically, we adopt a moving positioning in analyzing places, and we decide to establish a relation with them. So we are part of the practice. It's not just a theory that we adopt from our office somewhere. We are there. And we establish a relation with the trajectories that have been traced by people, that have been left on the environment by the technological or natural infrastructure that produce the place, or by the natural phenomena that shape the landscape we are immersed in. But also with the trajectories of the non-humans that inhabit those places, and they signify them with their movement and through their everyday life practices. Walking is also a practice which is open to the unknown, one that does not follow a precise itinerary, but it's open to surprises and also to unexpected encounters with past, present, but also future stories and subjects. Walking as a critical practice has also a theoretical implication. Notably, it is a standpoint that refuses the so-called objective observation, which is typical of hard sciences, or also like of old school social sciences. We are part of the fieldwork of the places we walk through, of the environment we traverse, and we modify the scenario with our movement, our present, and our mobile trajectories. So our present can never be, estranged from our study or from our fieldwork. Uh, Walking to that respect allows us to avoid, the fiction of the planner's view, the top-down perspective on the place, and it values what happens on the ground. And also, I would add what happens on the underground to the geological strata that are underneath our feet. This mix of historical, geographical, ecological, and also geological perspectives are able to reveal past, present, and future entanglements, and also signification of the places we move through. And this is what I call a geohistorical approach, which I use in quite a few of my works. In relation to heritage, a geohistorical working approach can help a scholar complicate the apparent linearity of memory process. For instance, this occurs in many museums of industrialization, where the progress of technology and society, they go hand in hand with without interruption towards an apparent infinite growth of wealth and also of the degree of civilization of a specific population. By adopting a geohistorical working approach, we can notice the frictions, the incongruencies, and the different trajectories that are inscribed within the environment, the different stories that are still inscribed within the place that we can notice, by crossing them literally, and and also unearth them. For instance, this is the case of what geographer Don Mitchell has done with his labor theory landscape. Don Mitchell, in The Lie of the Land, has shown that the production of the California landscape as a landscape of lush and wealth was but an invisibilization of the struggles and the labor which has been put there by the exploited immigrant laborers who materially made the landscape. Similarly, in my research on post-industrialization and post-industrial landscape in Belgium, I shown that the naturalization of and the greening of the former coal landfill and the coal slag heaps that is happening right now in southern Belgium often invisibilizes the latent toxicity of those environments, as well as the uneven ecologies and the toxic narratives that they can still tell if people are able to engage them, to make them visible, to notice them. So walking is an art of noticing, to quote Anna Singh to that respect. So walking can be also a great lay pedagogical method in a political ecology course, for instance. In a course that I organized when I was doing my PhD in Stockholm, I brought my student to a working class neighborhood south of Stockholm. And this critical walk was meant for my student to retrace through in the techno-natural environments of this part of Stockholm, how the welfare politics of the social democratic Swedish state that constructed that neighborhood, which is very nice and very welcoming today. It also served to invisibilize the fact that those working class people and those working class area were built right next to an incinerator, a landfill, and they were very far away from the wealthier areas of the city. Therefore, the environmental injustice that lies underneath the history of this place emerged through the walking. So this is not the place to talk about that, but also colonial, decolonial, and toxic tour are very powerful instrument to render public and to render visible those invisibilized struggles and stories. In relation to climate change, walking can help retracing, past pattern and histories within the landscape. For instance, in the case of transhumance, the practice of moving seasonally on the summer pasture from the valleys or the plains that is common to all the Mediterranean area has varied through the years, and now herders they move a bit earlier and they come back a bit later. But we have many accounts of these past experiences through studies, through various form of narratives, and so we can experience this change, climate change, really, by reenacting those walks, following these traditional trails and the temporalities that are connected to those, and see how it differs, how it changes today. So we can make them visible through the act of walking. To conclude, walking is also a more than human practice, one that allow walker to walk along and with non-human and more than human trajectories and companions. For instance, what the French philosopher Baptiste Morisot has practiced and described in relation to bears and wolves, what he calls tracking, can teach us how walking can help us reconnect with sensorial and affective experiences that are linked to co-evolutionary practices, and walking is a way to sense how we never have moved alone in this war, and we will never be. So yeah, that's it. Thanks.